You are listening to the Shopify Solutions Podcast, a podcast for Shopify store owners that brings you concrete examples on how to build and grow your e-commerce brand. Your host is Scott Austin. He owns a Shopify agency called Jade Puma. In this podcast, Scott will share his e-commerce insights and best practices with you.
I'm a big fan of AI and have talked about it a few times on this podcast. One of the things that AI can do really well is synthesize a lot of information. For example, a standard part of my podcast creation process is to feed the transcript of the episode into ChatGPT and have it give me a brief summary of the episode. It does a really good job of this. One of the reasons is that the data is constrained, so ChatGPT won't be able to go off on a tangent and make up its own facts. Back in November 2023, ChatGPT launched a new feature called GPTs. I can't believe how poorly they named this. GPTs are a way for you to create a tailored version of ChatGPT to provide a consistent experience. Anyone can easily build their own GPT. No coding is required. You can make them for yourself or for your company's internal use. Creating one is as easy as starting a conversation, giving it instructions and extra knowledge, and picking what it can do, like searching the web or analyzing data. GPTs do require that you be on the OpenAI paid plan, which is $20 per month. Here's a very useful scenario that I have found for GPTs that leverages ChatGPT's ability to summarize information. You can create a GPT that only looks at certain websites to get its information. One of the problems with AI is that it'll just make things up. But by restricting a GPT to just, say, your website, then you'll have higher quality, more accurate information. Many smaller e-commerce brands outsource their customer support, whether it be email, chat, or both. They outsource it to a lower cost economy like, say, the Philippines. And that outsourced team isn't an expert in the brand. They support many brands at the same time, and most brands don't build the documentation that the support teams need to provide quality support. So the support staff ends up browsing or searching the website to find answers to customers' questions. And if you've experienced a situation like this, it can be very frustrating because it's so slow and only as good as the content on the website. This is where the GPT comes in. You can set up the GPT to only pull content from your website. Because it's AI doing it, it'll be able to come up with the best answer from the site more quickly than outsourced staff could. Now, this solution still depends on the quality of the data. But here's the fun part. As I've mentioned, you can restrict the GPT to just one website, or you can restrict it to a small set of websites. So if you are not manufacturing your own products, you could add your supplier's website to the list the GPT is allowed to search. Or you could go a different route. You can upload files to the GPT that it uses for reference. So you could upload the user manuals of your products and have that be used as the reference for the support answers. In my testing, I could not get a GPT to use both a website and uploaded files. So you'd need two separate GPTs for that purpose. One for the website and another one for the files. Let's walk through the setup process so you can see how easy it is. For those of you that are listening to the audio version, I've got an accompanying video for this section, which you can check out by clicking on the link in the show notes. So what I've got going on now is I've gone into ChatGPT, and I'm a subscriber, so I'm in the paid version. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new GPT. I already have two of them, one for each of my businesses. And I'm going to make one on behalf of one of my clients. Right? So this one's going to be for my client, Ortho Bracing. They sell cold recovery machines and braces and such for people who are recovering from sports injuries or surgeries and that kind of stuff. So in ChatGPT, what I'm going to do under my account settings, I'm going to go to My GPTs. And I'm going to create a new one. And it walks you through the process in a little wizard type thing. It's going to ask me a series of questions, right? And right now it says, hi, I'll help you build a new GPT. You can say something like, make a creative who helps generate visuals for new products, or make a software engineer who helps format my code. What would you like to make? And I'm going to say, I would like to make a customer support representative for my e-commerce brand. Apologies, I typed so slow. And then the builder comes back, and what it's going to tell me next is, and it does take a little bit of time when you're doing this stuff in ChatGPT, just like it takes time to get answers sometimes. But when it does come back, it says, great choice. A customer support representative for e-commerce brand will be very useful. Now let's give this GPT a name. How about the name Shop Helper? Does that sound good to you, or do you have another name in mind? I'm going to say, let's name it Ortho Bracing Bot. And the nice thing here, as with most things in AI, I can just use natural language as I'm typing things in, right? I don't have to fill in a blank or anything like that. It's asking me questions, and I'm just answering in sentence format. So now I submit that. Ortho Bracing Bot it is. Now let's create a profile picture for Ortho Bracing Bot. I'll generate one right away, and let's see how it turns out. Because ChatGPT has image creation built in also now with DALL-E, it's going to create an image. And it's basically got a robot with a headset on, with a tie and a vest, and I'm like, that's totally fine. So it showed me the image, and I'm going to say that's good. So now it's going to move on to the next questions. Great. Now let's refine the context for Ortho Bracing Bot. What specific types of questions or issues should Ortho Bracing Bot be exceptionally skilled at handling? For example, should it specialize in product inquiries, order tracking, return policies, or something else? And I'm going to say this is a general bot for the brand. It will cover all of these situations. Now, you notice how it's asking me to divide things up, product inquiries, order tracking, return policies, or something else. And that's because what you could do is you could create different GPTs for each one of those scenarios. For example, if you want to have all product inquiries done by searching through the product manuals, which might be PDF files, you could have a separate GPT where you load up all the product manuals in PDF format, and it searches just for that content for them. And it might get policies off of your website. So I'm just going to say on this one, this is a general bot for the brand. It will cover all these situations. The builder comes back and says, Ortho Bracing Bot is now set up to be a general support representative covering all customer service aspects for your brand. Would you like to try interacting with Ortho Bracing Bot in the playground to the right? You can test its response to different customer scenarios. After trying it out, let me know if there's anything you would like to adjust or refine. And I'm not even going to go test it. I'm going to say, let's adjust the tone of the bot. Sure, I can help with that. Could you describe how you'd like the tone of Ortho Bracing Bot to be adjusted? For example, do you want it to be more formal, more casual, more empathetic, or something else? As these products are used during recovery from injuries and surgeries, the bot should be professional and empathetic. So I'm giving it a tone definition. Like you could say, I want it to be in the tone of, fun and funny, or, sound like Sherlock Holmes, whatever fits with your brand. But as Ortho Bracing's products are serious for their customers, so we got to keep it more professional. And because, it's a time of need for them, we want to be empathetic. So Ortho Bracing's bot's tone has been adjusted to be both professional and empathetic, recognizing the sensitive nature of your products related to recovery from injuries and surgeries. Feel free to test Ortho Bracing Bot in the playground and see how it handles customer interactions with this tone. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to refine or if you have any requests. So now I'm going to go over to the sandbox, and I'm going to say, tell me what cold therapy machines, which is one of the products they sell, are best for knee surgery recovery. And it's going to go through and it's, searching the internet to come up with all this information. And what it says right now is cold therapy machines are a popular choice for aiding recovery after knee surgery. So very generic, offering targeted cold therapy to reduce swelling, pain, and inflammation. While I can't endorse specific brands or products, I can provide you with some general criteria to consider when looking for a cold therapy machine for knee surgery recovery. And then it gives a list of 10 things to think about when looking at a cold therapy machine, right? So that isn't helpful in this situation. So now I'm going to go back to my definition and the builder, and I'm going to say, let's constrain the bot to only get information from orthobracing.com. So I'm going to grab the URL for that website, and I'm going to paste it in. And this, I think, is one of the most powerful things about these GPTs. Because, the information it just gave was so generic, it's just fluff, right? It's just making things up as it goes. Now, they're accurate. Those are things people think about when looking at cold therapy machines, but there's nothing specific there from the content that this brand has built, helping people make decisions, right? So now the GPT Builder says OrthoBracing bot is now constrained to use information only from orthobracing.com for all customer inquiries. So now we're going to test that out, and we're going to say in the previewer or the sandbox, we're going to say what cold therapy machines are best for knee surgery recovery. And this brand has spent a lot of time making content, usually in the form of blog articles and rich product pages, in helping customers make decisions. So there should be some content on the website. Now let's see what it comes up with. And it says, doing research with Bing. And it's actually going out to the site and doing a search query that we just talked about. And here we go. So now it says, for knee surgery recovery, several cold therapy machines available on orthobracing.com are highly recommended. And it shows 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still typing out. It shows 4 of them by brand, right? And it even gives a link to each of them if we want to use those. So now we can see that the Glacier, the PolarCare Wave, the Game Ready, and the PolarCare Cube Therapy System are all recommended for knee surgery recovery. Now, I happen to know that this store isn't stocking the Game Ready ice machine anymore than it used to in the past. So that's the kind of thing, the store staff is going to have to, or the customer support team is going to have to be aware of that or figure out what's going on there kind of thing. So it's not perfect, right? It's only as good as the information on the website. But this result is, infinitely better than the one it gave me a minute ago that was like, I can't recommend brands, but here's 10 things to think about. Now it's given me 4 actual products that meet my needs. So this is how constraining your scope of the GPT with just a website or multiple websites could be really useful. Now, the other thing I want to show you here is a lot of these cold therapy machines are made by a company called Breg Polar, or Breg, right? So I'm just going to look for Breg Polar Care and find their website. So there's the Breg website. So what I can do is I can also have it look at this website to get information. Now, in this case, I think OrthoBracing has more information on their website than Breg has on their website about their products and the different scenarios and advice and all that good stuff. But if that wasn't true, right, we could take this website and add it to the scope of the GPT. So I'm going to go back to my GPT builder, and I'm going to say, let's add Breg.com to the list of websites that we get content from. Now it's updating the GPT. OrthoBracing bot will now utilize information from both orthobracing.com and breg.com to respond to customer inquiries. Feel free to test the bot. So let's actually go back and test it and say, what cold therapy machines should I use for knee surgery recovery? Doing research with Bing. It's searching the websites. Now it says visiting OrthoBracing. And it comes back with, for knee surgery recovery, several cold therapy machines are recommended. It's got the Glacier, the Kodiak, the Wave, and the Cube. The DonJoy ice machine. DonJoy Classic. So it's gotten a different list in the Aircast Cryo. It's actually pulled down all the ones that are on OrthoBracing, where it didn't do that before for whatever reason, right? And every time you do a query with a GPT, just like in ChatGPT, you can get different results. There's no guarantee of consistency in those things, but it just listed all the machines that are available on the OrthoBracing site. But now we can try another query, and we could just say, what is the best shoulder brace to get? So it's searching, and the way it does that, it actually does a site search using Bing, where it does site:/orthobracing.com, and then puts in the query you put, which is what is the best shoulder brace to get. So then it's going to look at the results that Bing gives it back and look at those pages. So it's not searching through the whole website. It's just looking at the search results for that query in your website. But it still takes a moment, right? It's still spinning here. So this might be, more useful in an email situation than in a chat situation. The best shoulder brace for pain relief and recovery in 2023, according to OrthoBracing, is the DonJoy Sully shoulder brace. This brace is highly recommended for various shoulder issues, including instabilities, rotator cuff, shoulder AC separations. It goes on, with more information about the brace, and then even recommends other braces in case you don't want to get that one. That's a really good result for that query, actually. So now, we've created this GPT with not that much inputs, right? So, but we can look at what they call the configuration in ChatGPT, and you can see the parameters that are put up there for your GPT, and you can edit any one of those that you want to. And the instructions for it right now, based on the information we put in, is really, not that much information. It says OrthoBracing Bot, a professional, empathetic customer support representative, specializes in products for recovery from injuries and surgeries. It sources information exclusively from orthobracing.com and breg.com to respond to queries about products, order tracking, return policies, and order-related issues. The bot focuses on providing accurate and relevant information from these websites, maintaining a tone that is understanding and supportive. It does not offer financial advice or conduct transactions, and it personalizes responses to ensure customers feel valued and informed. I don't know where that last bit came from, right? It somehow added that, but I think you can go edit this now, because one of the things I'm thinking of is maybe we could tell it to only use breg.com when we're asking product questions. Anything about order tracking and policies and all that kind of stuff, use orthobracing.com for that. So you can take this, free-form text, it's just a paragraph of text, and you can edit it any way that you want to further, define for this GPT, what its tone is going to be and what content it's going to use to create answers to your customers' support queries. So as you can see, setting up a GPT is very easy, and it quickly gives quality answers. Here are some things to think about when setting up a GPT. 1, we're currently limited to ChatGPT's query throttles, which are 40 queries per 3 hours. 2, the results are only as good as the content that you feed the GPT, either through file uploads or websites. One best practice that I advise is that every time you get a support question that is not answered somewhere on the website, add the answer to the website. FAQ pages and blogs are great for this. So that's it for GPTs. If you're on the paid version of ChatGPT, I highly recommend that you create one or more GPTs for your brand and use them when responding to customers' queries. They'll help your support team tap into all your content to get the most accurate answer. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Shopify Solutions podcast with Scott Austin. This podcast is brought to you by Jade Puma, a Shopify-focused agency located in San Diego, California. If you like what you heard, please leave a review and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to work with Scott on your brand, email him at scott@jadepuma.com.